thought I'd cover the fact that there are three major gubernatorial races going on right now. Hi, it's Richard Cole. Rich is talking. They're about a week away from where I'm recording this right now. One is in California, one's in Virginia, and one is in New Jersey. Interestingly enough, they're all three women candidates. I have nothing against women running for any office, including presidency, but I thought you'd be interested in my view on these three races. The first one in California is Katie Porter, who I think really, I don't understand why anybody would vote for her. Let me show you an interview she had.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%? Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're thinking.
In a general election? Yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't think
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered our
follow-ups. I don't care.
If that's not enough, she was trying to record video for her campaign, and apparently one of her staff members walked in the back area and showed in a shot, and I actually called this video "Get Out of My Shot." Watch her. I got a kick out of this.
It's dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles, it's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that.
So that's an indication of how she treats her staff and what she thinks of herself. She went through a tough divorce, apparently, and some of the documents from her divorce came out. And her husband, apparently, he was a stay-at-home guy, and she was the breadwinner and definitely in charge. Some of the stuff that came out included she frequently abused him verbally and threw toys, books, and other objects at him during their marriage, even pouring scalding hot mashed potatoes on his head during a fight, according to divorce records. According to his divorce filings, his name is Matthew Hoffman, she would call him an effing idiot, effing incompetent, and also shattered a glass coffee pot on their kitchen counter when she felt their house wasn't clean enough. So she's got quite a temper. This is another excerpt from the Bill Maher show where she was on with Piers Morgan, and she is in favor of transgender women, who are men, playing in women's sports. And here she comments about that.
Able to have a civil debate. Nobody, including Riley Gaines, who I disagree with strongly, should feel
What do you disagree with, out of interest?
I think that it should be up to sporting bodies to make the decisions about who and how should compete.
What has she said that's actually wrong?
I think that what she has done is try to turn this. We talked about people, using things to kind of get likes and get clicks.
That's not what she's doing.
It's not?
I've got no truck for Riley Gaines personally, but all I've seen her do is stand up for women's rights to fairness and equality.
But
she actually competed against Leah Thomas, and it was obviously unfair. Leah Thomas won one of the races in the NCAA championships by 50 seconds against a bunch of biological females who simply couldn't keep up. That cannot be right. It cannot be fair.
That is something that I think our sporting bodies should be dealing with. And by the way, Riley is speaking up for herself, and that is her prerogative, and I respect her free speech.
I think she's speaking up for pretty much every female athlete in the world.
I mean, wasn't that?
There we go. Katie Porter calling me a grifter or something to the effect, saying that I am doing and have been doing what I have been doing for clicks and likes.
So you can see she took on Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines, I covered that in one of my early podcasts over a year ago about transgenders and their effect on society. And she went up, Riley Gaines went up against Leah Thomas, who was like 6'4". Riley Gaines was 5'4" or something, and lost to him. He'd been losing all the tournaments he was in, and so he became a woman so he could win. So Katie Porter is the leading candidate in the California race for governor, probably will be elected as governor. I can't believe that they elect someone like this. But if she's Democrat, the Democrats don't care. They vote for whoever the Democrat candidate is. California is totally a Democrat state. It's a one-party state. So there is no democracy in that state. The race in Virginia is between two women. The Democrat is Abigail Spanberger. She was a congresswoman. And Winsome Earl Sears, who was a lieutenant governor. Winsome Earl Sears is a woman, a black woman, and she's the Republican. There's a lot of controversy going on because the Democrat candidate for Attorney General issued some violent texts about the House Speaker and his children about shooting them. Listen to this.
Jones. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Colleague. Jay, please stop. Jones. LOL, okay. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. Colleague. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Jones. Yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy.
So Ms. Spanberger was questioned about this during a debate by the moderator, and listen to her response.
Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these text messages for many years.
What did you do about
I learned of these text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of them. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
It's crazy. She will not stop endorsing this guy. She comes short of it. She just said, I shouldn't have said it. It's terrible. I don't like that kind of talk. But I won't stop endorsing him. What is that? That's crazy. If that isn't enough, they got into the discussion about whether men, being transgenders, should be allowed in girls' locker rooms, allowed to participate in girls' sports and so forth. She was again challenged on that in a debate, and here's how she answered the moderator.
Once again, the question was, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams in K through 12? You have 15 seconds to clarify.
In cases across Virginia, I think it's incumbent upon parents and educators and administrators in each local community to make decisions.
This is Ms. Spanberger's time. I have a follow-up question for Ms. Spanberger. Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 30 seconds.
My priority would be to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers
That's
and
a yes or
educators
no.
are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community.
girls
and
need
that is
privacy.
important. And
But Ms.
at its
Spanberger, the question was, would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
Yes.
And my answer is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and
I'm saying is just very plain common sense, and I'm going to answer the question my opponent refused to answer, which is simply this: I will not rescind the governor's executive order. We know that girls want to have privacy. It's really that simple. And my opponent will not answer the question because she voted for men nude in girls' locker rooms, in bathrooms, and in girls' sports. She will refuse to protect our girls in Title IX. Are you going to change in a gym where men are nude in the locker rooms? Are you going to do that, Abigail?
Ms. Earl
I don't
Sears.
think you will. What about your girl children if they came home crying and said that
Ms.
there
Earl
was a
Sears,
male
we're going
in
to do
the
a
locker
follow-up
room?
question with you.
What would you do?
You will both have a chance to rebut.
Yeah, she responds by saying nothing, just stands there with her face looking off as if she can't even hear Sears talking to her. Earl Sears, I should say. And I don't understand how someone like this could be elected as governor, but she is leading in the polls because she's a Democrat. It's a Democrat state. Used to be more purple. It's going more and more Democrat, and they're doing some gerrymandering there too. They complain about Texas doing gerrymandering, but they do it in California, they do it in Massachusetts, and they're doing it in Virginia. All Democrats, so they talk out of both sides of their mouth. So now we move to New Jersey, where the two candidates are Mikey Sherrill, the woman, Democrat, and a man, the Republican candidate, Jack Ciattarelli. This is apparently his third attempt at running for governor. The interesting thing is, at about this time, in his run against Phil Murphy, the incumbent governor 4 years ago, he was 8 points behind, but wound up being only 3 points behind on the day of the election. So now he's 4 points behind at this point versus the 8 points before. So there is a chance he could win and we could have the first Republican governor in many years, which I think is needed in New Jersey. New Jersey's a great state, but the problem is too many Democrats in it. That's how I feel as a Republican, obviously. And it needs to be changed. Needs to pull away some of these regulations, reduce taxes, and that's Republicans stand for. Now, what has come up regarding Mikey Sherrill, the Democrat, is she's apparently involved in a cheating scandal in the Naval Academy, and those records were released. Her response is not really to deny that she was cheating, but to criticize Ciattarelli for somehow getting these records to be released, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I cheated, but you shouldn't have told anybody about it. The other thing she's being criticized for is she got a $65,000 donation from a member of the Chinese Communist Party, and that doesn't go down well. So that's where we stand in New Jersey. That'll be interesting. So those are the three major gubernatorial races going on, in my view. And it's interesting, if you look at that one in California, Katie Porter, and you compare it to the guy running for New York mayor, Adami, that's the left and the right portraits or faces of the Democrat Party in this country, the West Coast and the East Coast. That's all for now. Keep following. I hope you subscribe and likes if you'd like it. And any comments, I appreciate it.